When was the exact moment that the things you loved stopped mattering? Not slowly, not gradually, but the specific Tuesday afternoon when you realized that the song that used to make you cry now just sounds like noise. The hobby that used to absorb you now feels like an obligation. The people you cherished now feel like strangers speaking a language you've forgotten. You can't name the day, but you know what happened. And today, I'm going to show you why, and more importantly, how to find your way back. But before we begin this journey together, I need you to do something. If this question already resonates with you, if you felt that strange flatness that I'm describing, then please subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button, and when we're finished, leave a comment telling me which reason hits closest to home for you. Because your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read tomorrow to know they're not alone. Now let us begin. You have tried everything, haven't you? You've changed your routine, your diet, your environment. You've listened to the podcast while driving to work. Read the self-help books before bed. Maybe you've even started therapy, sitting in that chair every Thursday at 5 p.m. Try to explain this feeling that has no name. And still, there is this flatness, this muted quality to everything. Like you're watching your own life through frosted glass at a Starbucks window, seeing people laugh and connect, but you can't quite reach them. The sunrise doesn't move you anymore. You see it while scrolling through your phone in bed, and it's pretty, you suppose, but it doesn't touch you. Your favorite meal from that Italian place downtown tastes like cardboard. Conversations feel exhausting, even with people you've known for years. Even the things you used to love, your hobbies, your passions, that guitar in the corner collecting dust, that novel you used to reread every summer, now feel hollow. Performative, like you're going through the motions of being a person who has joy without actually having it. You're acting in a play where everyone else got the script except you. And the worst part? You don't even know when it started. You just woke up one day, maybe after scrolling TikTok until 2 in the morning, and realized, I don't feel anything anymore. And that realization itself didn't even hurt, because you couldn't feel that either. Now, the world has told you this is depression, that you need to fix your brain chemistry, that something is clinically wrong with you. And maybe that's true. Maybe you do need support. But what if it's not just that? What if your joylessness is not a disease, but a response? A perfectly rational, even wise response to a life that has become overstimulated, overstructured, and utterly devoid of meaning? Here is the myth they've sold you. If you're not happy, something is wrong with you. Here is the truth I will show you. Sometimes, joylessness is not pathology. It's diagnosis. Your soul is telling you something critical, that the life you're living is not aligned with the life you were meant to live, that you have optimized for comfort, for efficiency, for distraction, and in doing so, you have starved the very thing that makes life worth living: significance. Let me tell you about a concert pianist, world class, trained at Juilliard, performed at Carnegie Hall, and one day, they wake up and realize they can no longer hear the beauty in music. Not because their ears are broken, but because they've been playing the same scales, the same pieces, in the same rehearsal room on West 65th Street for so long that the notes have lost their meaning. The music hasn't changed. They have changed. They've become so proficient, so efficient, so automated, that the soul has left the building. This is what has happened to you. Not with music, but with life. You have become so good at surviving, at optimizing, at managing your calendar and your inbox and your grocery delivery subscription, that you forgot how to be moved. And joy, my friend, only comes when you allow yourself to be moved. But here is the question that will unlock everything. What if joy is not something you find, but something you create by refusing certain things? What if the path back to feeling is not about adding more gratitude journals, more positive affirmations on your bathroom mirror, more self-care Sundays, but about subtracting, about removing the very things that are numbing you? So let me walk you through the 5 reasons nothing brings you joy anymore. Not to overwhelm you, but to give you a map, a way back. Reason number 1, you have confused stimulation with satisfaction. Listen carefully, because this is the foundation of everything else. Your brain right now is drowning in dopamine. Every notification, every like, every autoplay episode, every delivered package from Amazon sitting on your doorstep. These are not neutral events. They are dopamine hits. And your brain, which evolved to get excited about finding a berry bush once a week, is now getting hit with dopamine-inducing stimuli 500 times a day. What happens when you flood an engine? It shuts down. Your brain is doing the same thing. It's turning down the volume on your pleasure receptors just to survive the onslaught. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's why the things that used to bring you joy, a good cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, a walk in the park, now feel like nothing. Because your brain has recalibrated. It now needs the intensity of screen, the novelty of endless scrolling, the constant hits of digital stimulation just to feel baseline normal. And real life, beautiful and slow and deep as it is, can't compete. So you feel nothing. Not because life isn't enough, but because you've taught your brain that nothing is enough unless it comes with a notification sound. Reason number 2, you have outsourced your identity to productivity. In America, we don't ask how you are. We ask what you do. And somewhere along the way, you learned that your worth is measured by your output, by how busy you are, how full your calendar is, how many side hustles you're juggling while working your 9 to 5 and meal prepping on Sundays and trying to hit the gym 4 times a week. You have become a human doing, not a human being. And here's what happens when you live like this. Joy becomes inefficient. Sitting on your porch doing nothing? That's wasted time. Staring at the clouds? Unproductive. Playing with your dog without posting it? What's the point? And so you stop doing the things that feed your soul because they don't feed your resume. And then you wonder why you feel empty. It's because you've gutted your life of everything that doesn't produce a result. You've turned yourself into a machine. And machines don't feel joy. They just run until they break. Reason number 3, you have mistaken convenience for fulfillment. Everything in your life is easy now. You want food? It arrives at your door in 30 minutes. You want entertainment? 80 million songs, 100,000 movies, all on demand. You want connection? Swipe right. You want answers? Ask Google. There's no friction anymore. No waiting. No effort. No struggle. And you think this is progress. But here's the truth. Human beings are not designed for ease. We are designed for challenge, for effort, for the satisfaction that comes only after we have worked for something. When you remove all friction from life, you remove all meaning. Because meaning is made in the gap between wanting something and having it. In the effort, in the striving. When everything comes easy, nothing feels earned. And when nothing feels earned, nothing feels valuable. So you sit in your apartment that you can unlock with your phone, eating food you didn't cook, watching shows you didn't choose because the algorithm chose them for you, and you feel nothing. Because you have done nothing. Not because you are lazy, but because convenience has robbed you of the opportunity to feel the pride, the satisfaction, the deep soul-level fulfillment that comes from effort. Reason number 4, you have lost your relationship with silence. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No music, no podcast, no TV in the background, just you and your thoughts. I'm guessing it's been a while, maybe years, because silence is terrifying now, isn't it? The moment things get quiet, your hand reaches for your phone, because in the silence, you might have to feel something. You might have to think something. You might have to confront the truth that you've been running from by keeping yourself constantly, endlessly, relentlessly distracted. Joy does not live in noise. It lives in the space between the noise. It lives in the quiet moments when you're alone with yourself and you actually like that person. But you have not been alone with yourself in so long that you don't even know who that person is anymore. You are a stranger to your own soul. And that is why nothing brings you joy. Because joy requires presence. And you are never, ever present. You're always somewhere else. Scrolling, planning, worrying, replaying, but never here, never now. And joy only exists now. Reason number 5, and this is the hardest one. You have stopped creating and started only consuming. You used to make things. Maybe you wrote. Maybe you painted. Maybe you cooked elaborate meals, or built furniture, or played music, or gardened, or coached Little League, or volunteered at the animal shelter. You used to put something into the world. And then life got busy. And creating takes time, takes energy, takes vulnerability. So you stopped, and now you only consume. You scroll through other people's creativity on Instagram. You binge other people's stories on Netflix. You listen to other people's thoughts on podcasts. You order other people's food. You buy other people's art to hang on your wall. And there is nothing wrong with consumption. But if it is all you do, if you never create, never contribute, never leave your fingerprint on the world, then you will feel empty. Because human beings are not built to be passive receptacles. We are built to make, to shape, to add something to the universe that wasn't there before. And when you stop doing that, you lose your sense of purpose, your sense of agency, your sense that you matter. And without that, joy is impossible. So now you know 5 reasons. Not because you are broken, not because something is clinically wrong with your brain chemistry, though that may also be true and you should talk to someone if you think it is, but because you are living in a world designed to numb you, to overstimulate you, to keep you producing and consuming but never feeling, never present, never creating, and your soul has gone on strike. It has said, I will not participate in this anymore. I refuse to feel joy in a life that does not honor me. And here is the most important thing I can tell you. This is not a life sentence. You're not doomed to feel this way forever. But the path back is not what you think. It is not about adding more to your life. It's about subtracting. Radically, ruthlessly subtracting. Delete the apps that are stealing your attention. Turn off the notifications. Stop saying yes to things you don't want to do just because you think you should. Stop optimizing. Stop producing. Stop performing. And start being. Start sitting in silence, even though it's uncomfortable. Start creating something, anything, even if it's terrible. Start doing things that take effort, that have friction, that make you work for the satisfaction. Start protecting your attention like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Your attention is your life. And where your attention goes, your joy follows. I want you to think about something with me. Remember when you were a kid, maybe 7 or 8 years old, and you would do something just because it was fun. You'd build a fort out of couch cushions in your living room. You'd spend an hour drawing a picture that no one would ever see. You'd play the same game in the backyard until the streetlights came on and your mom called you in for dinner. You weren't trying to be productive. You weren't trying to optimize. You weren't checking your phone every 3 minutes because you didn't have one. You were just present, just playing, just being. And you felt joy, not because anything special was happening, but because you were fully there. That version of you still exists, buried under years of hustle culture and social media and existential exhaustion, but still there. And the way back to joy is the way back to that version of yourself, the one who could be moved by small things, who could feel wonder, who could create without worrying if it was good enough, who could sit in silence without reaching for distraction. That person is still in you. They're just waiting for you to remember them. So let me leave you with this truth, and I ask you to repeat it whenever the world makes you feel broken for not being endlessly happy. My joylessness is not my failure. It is my soul's refusal to settle. You are not numb because you are broken. You are numb because you have been living a life that does not honor your depth. And the moment you change that, the moment you strip away the noise, the distraction, the relentless overstimulation, joy will return. Not as a feeling you chase, but as the natural byproduct of a life lived with intention, presence, and courage. A life where you create more than you consume, where you choose silence over noise, where you protect your attention like the sacred resource it is, where you allow yourself to struggle, to work for things, to feel the satisfaction that only comes from effort, where you stop performing productivity and start practicing presence. If something in this reached you, if a single insight made you pause, made you see your joylessness not as a flaw, but as a signal, then I ask you to do something small. Leave a comment below. Tell me, which of the 5 reasons hit closest to home for you? Not for me, but for the person who will read it tomorrow and realize they're not alone. And if you want to continue this kind of inquiry together, to explore the questions that matter in a world that moves too fast to ask them, then subscribe. Stay. Think alongside me, not because I have all the answers, but because we deserve a space where asking the right questions is enough. You're not broken. You're waking up. And that is the hardest, most courageous thing you can do.